Have you ever considered that what seems like an innocent decision to store money in certain areas of your home might secretly attract poverty into your life? This seemingly harmless choice can create a vicious cycle of scarcity that is difficult to break free from. Catholic teachings, particularly the admonitions of St. Francis, warn us about how excessive attachment to material possessions can block the path to prosperity and undermine our financial stability. What we are about to discuss is not just advice, but an urgent warning. By continuing to make these mistakes, you risk unknowingly sabotaging your financial future. There are 7 places in your home that possess the power to attract negative energies, undermining your efforts to achieve success and abundance. Every minute of delay in correcting these errors jeopardizes everything you have accomplished so far. But do not despair, for there is still a chance to change the situation. By avoiding these dangerous places and following the teachings you are about to learn, you can radically transform the energy of your home. As a result, your financial life will begin to flourish like never before, opening doors to new opportunities, security, and growth. Remember that prosperity begins with small steps, and this could be the turning point you have been waiting for. Our environment profoundly influences our lives, and we often underestimate the power our home exerts on our energy and finances. Catholic teachings state that every space within our home possesses its unique energy, which can directly affect our well-being. When it comes to money, how we store it and the places we choose can create an atmosphere of abundance or, conversely, scarcity. For some, this concept might seem abstract, but it is deeply rooted in ancestral wisdom that connects our material well-being with the spiritual. St. Francis taught that money should not become an obstacle to inner peace. On the contrary, it should be treated with humility and responsibility. The right attitude toward money plays a crucial role in maintaining harmony between the spiritual and material worlds. Since ancient times, Catholic teachings have emphasized the importance of aligning our energy with divine will to attract prosperity. One key aspect of achieving this harmony is caring for the space in our home. Inspired by his experience of a simple life full of faith, St. Francis spoke of how maintaining order in the home and paying attention to daily details can directly impact our peace and well-being. By ignoring these guidelines, we risk blocking the flow of abundance into our lives. Have you ever wondered why, despite meticulous financial planning, money seems to slip through your fingers? The answer might be closer than you think. It's all about where you store your money. Choosing the wrong spot in your home can create a negative energy field that repels prosperity and attracts scarcity. These places, often seemingly practical or safe, can actually hinder the flow of positive energy. The teachings of St. Francis of Assisi warn us not to underestimate the power that the energy of our environment has on our finances. Therefore, before we proceed, take a moment to reflect on your surroundings. Assess how the energy of your home impacts your financial life, and prepare to learn about 7 specific places to avoid at all costs when storing money. Armed with this knowledge, you can transform your home's energy, paving the way for prosperity to flow freely into your life. Remember that change begins with awareness, and you are on the threshold of the first step toward a more prosperous future. Now that you understand the importance of harmonizing your home's energy to attract prosperity, let's explore exactly where you should never under any circumstances, store money. These seemingly harmless places can drain your financial energy and attract scarcity, even if you're unaware of it. Let's examine each one and understand why, according to Catholic teachings, they should be avoided at all costs. Storing money under the mattress is an ancient and common practice associated with security and secrecy. However, according to Catholic teachings, it is one of the worst places to keep your savings. The mattress is where we spend a significant portion of our lives, and it should be an oasis of rest and restoration. When we place money under the mattress, we create an energetic imbalance, mixing the vibrations of peace with those of worry and attachment to material possessions. This can lead to sleepless nights and a constant feeling of financial insecurity, even when substantial savings are present. In addition to this, money hidden under the mattress is subjected to constant physical pressure. This symbolic burden represents the weight that money can carry if stored improperly. Instead of circulating freely and attracting greater abundance, the funds become trapped and compressed, leading to heavy and stagnant energy associated with them. This can manifest in a person's life as financial difficulties, unexpected obstacles, and blockages on the path to prosperity. A place intended for rest transforms into a source of worry and tension. This concept resonates with teachings that emphasize how earthly concerns, such as money, can overshadow inner peace. The call to trust in divine providence and to detach from material possessions remains relevant today, as attachment only generates suffering and spiritual stagnation. Similarly, storing money in an inappropriate place, such as under the mattress, attracts negative energy capable of blocking one's ability to find peace and stability, both financially and emotionally. It is important to note that hiding money under the mattress often stems from a sense of distrust and fear. This negative charge permeates the financial sphere, creating a vicious cycle of scarcity. Storing money in such a place not only maintains these feelings but amplifies them daily, with every touch of the head to the pillow. Francis of Assisi often reflected that serenity and peace flourish only when the soul is freed from fear and excessive desires. When the mind is constantly preoccupied with worrying about money, both one's spiritual and financial life weaken. Instead of opening oneself to abundance, one falls into a trap of scarcity thinking, reinforcing survival strategies that significantly limit opportunities. The place where one sleeps should be a place of spiritual renewal, where the body and mind can recover. Placing money under the mattress disrupts this balance, hindering the deep rest necessary for making well-considered and wise financial decisions. Francis of Assisi, known for his simple life of prayer and devotion to the poor, reminded us that true wealth springs from inner peace and faithfulness to divine purpose. If one lives consumed by material worries, they are not in harmony with the true divine purpose of abundance. Thus, removing money from under the mattress and finding a more suitable place for it not only releases constrained energy, but also opens up space for a more natural influx of prosperity into life. Some believe that the kitchen, as the heart of the home, is a suitable place to store money. This is where food is prepared, families are fed, and, in a sense, the household economy is sustained. However, Catholic spirituality warns against storing money in the kitchen, especially in a cabinet, as this can lead to imbalance. The kitchen is a place of constant transformation, where ingredients combine to create something new, If money is stored in this environment, its financial energy can undergo continuous changes, causing instability. Furthermore, the kitchen, as a place associated with nourishment, symbolizes abundance. But, as Francis of Assisi stated in his reflections, the nourishment of the body should not be overshadowed by the pursuit of material things. When economic decisions are made out of fear or worry, one distances oneself from the confidence and peace that arise from knowing God provides. The kitchen cabinet, being a closed, dark, and often forgotten place, can symbolically represent a spot where resources stagnate. Money stored there tends to absorb these characteristics, becoming inaccessible and out of the flow of life. Instead of attracting greater prosperity, it seems to remain static. This reflects in one's financial situation as obstacles, losses, or unforeseen expenses. Moreover, kitchens are often warm and humid, which can affect not only the physical condition of money, but also its energetic charge. Excessive heat can indicate impulsiveness in spending. Humidity, in turn, symbolizes emotional confusion and fluctuations. These energies can seep into financial decisions and divert one from the pursuit of stability. Therefore, storing money in a kitchen cabinet can weaken financial clarity and discernment. Francis of Assisi often advised learning to find balance in life, not allowing obsession with material things to overshadow one's inner light. Finally, a cabinet is a place where items consumed daily are stored. Placing money there can symbolize the idea that resources are constantly being depleted. Instead of growing and multiplying, they seem to disappear, much like food consumed in daily use. To ensure money retains its vital and positive energy, it is important to avoid storing it in places where it can be symbolically absorbed or depleted. In his profound reflections, St. Francis of Assisi emphasized the need to live in modesty, reminding us that the true value of life is not measured by accumulated wealth, but by the inner peace gained through following evangelical principles. Embracing these truths and making necessary changes in one's attitude towards material possessions opens the way to a more prosperous and peaceful life. The bathroom, being an intimate space, does not possess the properties for reliable energy preservation. Money hidden there can reflect deep fears and insecurity, emotions incompatible with prosperity. Placing money in this location symbolically links it to vulnerability and isolation. In striving for stability and economic growth, one should choose places that radiate strength, security, and creative energy, avoiding anything associated with the eliminating energy of the bathroom. Catholic wisdom urges us to guard our hearts and minds from anything that obscures a clear vision of the abundance prepared for us from above. Following the example of boundless trust left by St. Francis, we recognize that fear closes doors to blessings, while faith opens paths to provision. Placing money near electronic devices such as televisions, computers, or microwave ovens might seem like a practical solution. However, according to church teachings, this should be avoided at all costs. Electronic devices emit electromagnetic waves capable of disrupting the energy of money. These waves carry unstable and chaotic energy, which can interrupt the flow of prosperity in your life, creating an atmosphere of disorder and financial confusion. As St. Francis once noted in one of his pastoral meetings, maintaining an atmosphere of prayer, reflection, and silence contributes to ordering daily decisions, including economic ones. Just as we are called to avoid worldly distractions and temptations, We must shield our finances from the influence of uncontrolled energies. The energy emitted by electronics is characterized by speed, instability, and often destructiveness. When money is stored near these energy sources, it absorbs these characteristics, which can lead to impulsive spending, risky investments, or hasty financial decisions. Instead of strengthening stability and growth, money under the influence of chaotic electronic energy can become a cause of unexpected losses or a feeling of loss of control over one's finances. Furthermore, electronic devices are often associated with distractions and excessive consumption. Storing money near them can symbolize a constant temptation to spend funds on entertainment, technology, or other non-essential items. This proximity can weaken financial discipline and increase the likelihood of impulsive purchases, diverting one from the path to prosperity. Those who carefully follow pastoral guidance know the importance of self-control, including in material matters. It seems as though the energy of electronics absorbs the energy of money, directing it toward immediate consumption rather than long-term investments. Electronic devices are often linked to stress and mental overload, especially in the modern world. Placing money near them can heighten feelings of pressure and anxiety about one's financial situation, creating a vicious cycle of worry and insecurity. To ensure the security and stability of your finances, it is best to choose a place that radiates peace, stability, and clarity, far from the disruptive influence of electronic devices. Storing money in the attic might seem like a safe option, as it's rarely visited and hidden from plain sight. However, according to Catholic teachings, the attic is not suitable for storing money. Symbolically, the attic represents the roof of the house, that which is above us and not clearly seen. Storing money there can imply that prosperity is out of reach, or that resources are stuck in a remote location, unable to be fully utilized. In spiritual life, we are taught to maintain a close and constant connection with God, which includes the management of blessings. Both finances and spiritual and material wealth should serve God and others, rather than being a distant and inaccessible good. Furthermore, the attic is often associated with forgotten or abandoned items, things rarely used, and that accumulate dust over time. Money stored in the attic can absorb this energy of forgetfulness and stagnation, becoming inaccessible or difficult to retrieve when most needed. This can manifest as unexpected financial difficulties, obstacles to accessing savings, or a persistent feeling that prosperity is far away. The attic, often dim, dusty, and disorganized, can generate chaotic energy, which in turn can negatively impact financial well-being. Placing funds in such an environment can attract disorder into your finances, leading to confusion in accounts, disarray, and a lack of clarity in resource management. It is important for money to be in an easily accessible place, in an environment that promotes clarity and order. As many teachings state, order is a reflection of harmony, and we should strive for this harmony by maintaining organization and control in financial matters. Additionally, the attic, being located at a higher elevation, symbolizes remoteness, creating a feeling that your money is outside your immediate control, which can foster a sense of powerlessness and financial dependence. To ensure the accessibility and manageability of your prosperity, it is recommended to store money in an easily reachable location. Storing money in the garage, even in a safe or well-hidden spot, might seem like a practical solution. However, The garage is a place of constant change, where things are always coming and going. According to Catholic teachings, this transitional energy contradicts what is necessary for financial stability. Money stored in an environment of constant movement and flux is prone to instability, leaving as quickly as it arrives, which hinders the accumulation of wealth and financial security. St. Augustine taught us to wisely cultivate what we have, not allowing blessings to dissipate in an uncontrolled flow. The garage typically serves as a mixed space where various items are stored, often designated for disposal or not used regularly. This atmosphere of temporary storage imparts an energy of impermanence to money, as if it is something transient. For money to grow and multiply, it needs to be treated with stability and care, not relegated to a transit point where things are constantly replaced. To maintain prosperity in life, it is essential to carefully choose where money is stored. Just as spiritual life requires care, order, and peace, finances must be protected from negative and disorderly influences. Francis of Assisi emphasized the importance of a responsible attitude toward material possessions, urging us to be good stewards of what has been entrusted to us, always acting with prudence, order, and faith. Storing money in an unsuitable place can lead to difficulties in saving or a feeling that money quickly disappears, regardless of income side. The garage, associated with vehicles and movement, symbolizes motion and change. Storing money in such a place can reflect instability and uncertainty in financial resources. Instead of seeing money grow and multiply, one might experience its constant outflow. To ensure financial stability, it is important to store money in a place that symbolizes security and permanence. A garage is typically a secondary area in the home, often not receiving proper attention and care. Storing money there can symbolize an undervaluation of financial resources, placing them on the periphery of one's life. This can manifest as a lack of attention to finances, leading to negligence, poor management, and missed opportunities. To attract and maintain prosperity, money should be kept in a place that symbolizes its importance and aligns with positive energies and high vibrations. Catholic teachings remind us of the need to care for God-given blessings, including finances, with responsibility and love. Neglecting money is tantamount to rejecting the divine blessing of abundance. As the Gospel of Matthew, Acts 21, teaches us, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Therefore, it is necessary to choose places for storing money that reflect its value and the importance of being good stewards of what has been given to us. Many people prefer to store money in their office desk drawer, considering it a safe and easily accessible place. However, this is also one of the places to avoid. An office or desk is a place of intense mental activity, planning, and often stress. Storing money in this environment can infuse finances with energy of worry and overload, potentially leading to constant anxiety about money. A drawer or desk is often a place of disorganization, where papers and various items accumulate. This clutter can transfer to the energy of money, causing financial confusion, a lack of clarity in accounts, and difficulties in maintaining effective control over resources. Furthermore, the work environment is associated with pressure and deadlines, which can transform the energy of money into something linked to stress and urgency, rather than prosperity and tranquility. Scripture reminds us that we cannot serve two masters. Matthew 6:24. This also applies to money. If we allow work-related stress and worries to influence our relationship with money, we separate our finances from God's peace. The proximity of money to these elements of pressure can imbue finances with crisis energy, which can hinder the growth and expansion promised to us. It is important to consider that the office, as a place for making complex decisions and confronting problems, can carry an energy that affects our perception of finances. Placing money in an office can subconsciously associate it with problem solving rather than opportunities for growth. As a result, finances may be viewed as a resource for overcoming crises rather than a means for expanding horizons and achieving new goals, which limits the potential for financial development. The Catholic Church teaches us to view money as a tool for the common good, peace, and the spreading of blessings, not merely a temporary solution to difficulties. Additionally, an office desk and drawer symbolize concentration, focus, and to some extent, rigidity. Storing money in such a place can make it less flexible and harder to manage, hindering the natural flow of prosperity. To attract a lighter and more abundant energy, it is recommended to choose places associated with relaxation and positivity, where money can multiply and circulate freely without the pressure associated with work. To change the energetic field surrounding your finances, it is essential to approach the choice of money storage locations consciously. In accordance with Catholic teachings, the right place not only ensures the preservation of resources, but also enhances the positive energy associated with prosperity. Such places contribute to maintaining a constant flow of abundance, avoiding energetic blocks that can lead to scarcity. One optimal option is a safe or a secure box located in a strategically important area of the home, such as a bedroom closet or a room associated with tranquility and well-being. It is important that this place is organized, clean, and easily accessible, yet sufficiently hidden so that money does not become easy prey for thieves. The safe or box should be perceived as a symbol of security and protection, infusing money with an energy of stability. Choosing a calm and protected place ensures that money will be stored in an environment where energy circulates positively and harmoniously. An alternative option is to use a ceramic or wooden container, as these materials have the ability to absorb and neutralize negative energies. Such containers can be placed on shelves, in cabinets, or other inconspicuous locations not subject to constant movement. Ceramic and wood, being natural materials, help maintain the connection of money's energy with the earth, creating a sense of stability and security. This, in turn, contributes to a feeling of peace and confidence in the financial future, ensuring stability and growth in the long term. It is also recommended to place money near items symbolizing prosperity and abundance, such as healthy green plants or crystals like pyrite and citrine, known for their ability to attract wealth. These items not only beautify the space but also enhance the positive energy of the environment, creating a magnetic field for prosperity. By placing money near these symbols, we are, in a sense, inviting more abundance into our lives. It is important to remember that our finances are a reflection of our relationship with God and should be managed with wisdom, humility, and gratitude. The conscious choice of where to store money allows us to align it with divine blessings and ensure its generous and abundant flow into our lives. This simple gesture can fundamentally change our perception and management of finances, fostering a mindset of growth and opportunities An often overlooked but extremely effective place is a drawer designated exclusively for money, where you can also keep positive affirmations or mantras aimed at attracting prosperity. It is important that this drawer is organized and clean. The very act of placing money into this drawer can become a ritual of expressing gratitude and good intentions. Each time we put money into this drawer, we mentally repeat a prosperity affirmation, such as, "I attract abundance and financial security into my life." Over time, this practice can strengthen the positive energy associated with money, helping to create a continuous cycle of prosperity. However, to attract and maintain prosperity, it's not enough to simply choose suitable places to store money. It is also necessary to incorporate rituals and daily practices into your life that enhance financial energy. These rituals, based on Catholic teachings and other spiritual traditions, help establish a deeper and more positive connection with money. Performed with intention and consistency, they can change our attitude towards finances, opening new opportunities and ensuring a constant flow of abundance. One of the most effective rituals is the daily practice of expressing gratitude for the money we already possess. Before bed or after waking, dedicate a few minutes to reflecting on the money that has come into your life, whether as salary, gifts, or even small savings. It's important to be grateful for every cent, recognizing its value and positive energy. This simple act of gratitude not only raises your energetic vibration, but also sends a clear signal to the universe that you value and respect money, which in turn attracts even more prosperity. A crucial aspect of attracting financial well-being is the energetic cleansing of places where money is stored. This process involves using incense, special sprays, or simply maintaining physical order and cleanliness in these areas. Regular cleansing helps eliminate negative energy that might hinder the flow of abundance. Moreover, caring for money storage places emphasizes their significance, creating a favorable environment for financial growth and stability. Positive visualization also plays a key role in enhancing monetary energy. Daily, take a few minutes to imagine your funds multiplying in their storage places. Visualize these spaces radiating light and positive energy, attracting wealth and new opportunities. This practice not only strengthens your connection with money, but also recalibrates your consciousness to expect and accept abundance as a natural part of life. Over time, such visualization can manifest as real financial benefits. Incorporate prosperity affirmations into your daily routine. Choose a few powerful phrases such as, "I am a magnet for wealth," or "prosperity flows freely to me," and repeat them regularly. Utter these affirmations aloud when placing money in storage, cleaning designated areas, or during visualizations. Affirmations help align your mind with the frequency of abundance, strengthening the belief that you are worthy of and ready to receive prosperity in all areas of life. In concluding this exploration of how money storage locations influence our well-being, it's worth recalling Pope Francis's words that caring for the space around us reflects our inner readiness to gratefully receive the gifts life offers. The energy of your home profoundly impacts your financial state, and understanding this can be the first step toward changing your relationship with money and attracting deserved abundance. However, it's vital to remember that choosing the right places for money storage and applying practices of gratitude and energetic cleansing are only part of the journey. Ultimately, each person is the architect of their own destiny. No techniques can replace active steps and daily decisions. Money does not define financial life. Rather, our choices and actions shape its direction. Practices of gratitude, positive visualization, and maintaining an energetically clean environment are powerful tools for opening new paths and creating opportunities. But they must be accompanied by an active stance. It is we, by overcoming obstacles and making decisions, who determine our financial success. Prosperity is not just something we attract, it is something we build through dedication, discipline, and courage. Positive thinking is important, but actions transform it into real results. Hard work, continuous learning, and seeking new opportunities are what define the achievement of desired prosperity. Every decision, from investing time and money to reacting to challenges, contributes to shaping your financial destiny. As Scripture says, every action we take is a seed we plant in the soil of our lives. Galatians 6:7. Therefore, as you apply this knowledge, remember that you are the main architect of your future. Practice gratitude, maintain a positive outlook, but most importantly, firmly hold the reins of your destiny in your hands. Only you can walk the path to true abundance. Be the driving force of your success. Now that you understand the importance of choosing the right places to store money, it's time to put this knowledge into practice. Evaluate whether your current storage locations align with your aspirations for prosperity and security. Small changes can have a significant impact, and by implementing these practices, you will begin to notice a difference in the flow of wealth and opportunities. As Scripture reminds us, ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be open to you. Matthew 7:7. By changing our environment, we are knocking on the door of abundance, seeking a continuous flow of blessings. Don't forget the rituals and daily practices that will help strengthen the energy of money in your life and ensure a continuous flow of abundance. Consistent practice of expressing gratitude, energetic cleansing of financial storage areas, positive visualization, and prosperity affirmations are simple yet powerful tools for ensuring continuous financial growth. By integrating these methods into daily life, one can observe a transformation in their relationship with money. Pope Francis, during one of his pastoral meetings, emphasized the importance of complete trust in providence, which manifests when there is devotion and an open heart. In conclusion, we invite you to continue this journey toward prosperity together. If the content presented has been helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and activating notifications so you don't miss new releases. In the comments, you can share which of the proposed practices you would like to implement in your life so that we can collectively advance toward a more prosperous and abundant financial life, with faith that God will provide what is needed when we act with faith and determination. Did you know that certain gifts, even when given with good intentions, can be imbued with negative energy? Pope Francis, one of the most influential spiritual leaders of our time, has repeatedly expressed concern about spiritual nuances that often escape our attention. In his pastoral ministry, he has spoken about the hidden risks associated with certain objects that, despite their apparent harmlessness, can carry energies that block blessings, disturb inner peace, and hinder the path to grace. Have you ever considered that an unsuitable gift could change the course of your life? It is recommended to watch until the end, as the information gained might change your perception of even the most mundane gestures. You can write in the comments, "I accept protection." The first type of gift that raises concerns is relics of unknown origin. These antique objects, often valued for their historical significance or appearance, can carry more than just memories. It is believed that when an object passes from hand to hand, especially if the origin and emotional charge of previous owners are unknown, it can bring undesirable influences. Accepting such an item without due caution might open invisible doors to conflicts and inexplicable ailments. There are legends of how certain objects become silent witnesses to tragic events, disputes, losses, and even dark rituals. This energetic memory can persist in the atmosphere of a new home, creating a burdensome presence. Most dangerously, the consequences do not always manifest immediately, but can emerge as a series of financial problems, family disagreements, or a constant feeling of melancholy. Therefore, many advise praying and reflecting before accepting a gift that causes suspicion or discomfort. An example is the case of Mariana, who received an antique piece of jewelry from an acquaintance, unaware that it belonged to a family that had suffered many misfortunes. Soon after, her life began to crumble. Illnesses, economic difficulties, and inexplicable sadness. Only after seeking spiritual guidance and getting rid of the jewelry was she able to regain stability. The second type of gift carrying a negative charge is withered flowers, symbolizing the energy of decomposition. While fresh flowers are typically associated with joy, beauty, and life, their symbolism changes drastically when they wilt. Dried flowers are linked to the completion of cycles, loss of vital energy, and stagnation. Placing a withered bouquet in your home, especially if received as a gift, can disrupt the energetic flow of the space, bringing heaviness, illness, and conflict. Sensitive individuals often feel changes in the atmosphere in the presence of dead flowers. Unlike fresh flowers, which uplift mood and harmonize space, withered flowers can block inner light and joy. Doña Marta, a devout and kind woman, had a habit of keeping dried flowers, believing they adorned her home. One day, she was given a composition of withered flowers, and from then on, her health began to deteriorate and disharmony reigned in her family. Only after receiving spiritual counsel and disposing of these flowers did she notice an improvement in her condition and the restoration of peace in her home. In times of confusion, when the soul feels lost and the heart is wounded, it may seem there is no place to escape. Health problems, economic difficulties, and emotional conflicts weigh heavily, but hope still exists. Although Pope Francis's name is mentioned only once, his testimony reminds us that God never turns away. Sincere prayer, combined with discernment and spiritual care, can open the way to light. The third type of gift to beware of is old coins or money that carry patterns of scarcity. Money is traditionally considered something positive, however. Antique coins and collectible banknotes might have been involved in dishonest transactions, such as wars, thefts, and unpaid debts. Pope Francis' spiritual reflections remind us that money is not just a physical object, but a symbol capable of carrying the imprint of past intentions. An example is the case of a family who, after accepting old coins as a gift from a friend, faced unexplained business failures. According to pastoral teachings, items with such a history can entrap a person in patterns of scarcity. The fourth gift, books of dark magic or gateways to evil. Books have long been revered as repositories of wisdom and enlightenment. However, spiritual guides tirelessly warn against indulging in literature dedicated to magic, occultism, and dubious spiritual practices. Such publications can turn into portals, opening the way for evil forces, inviting unwanted influences into the home. The story of a young man who, after receiving a book on occultism as a gift, began to be plagued by nightmares and paranormal phenomena comes to mind. Only by getting rid of the ominous tome was he able to regain his peace of mind. It is important to exercise discretion in choosing the knowledge we allow into our lives. The fifth gift, mirrors, reflections of the otherworldly. In various cultures, mirrors are attributed the role of spiritual portals, capable of both reflecting and attracting good and evil. This is especially true for antique mirrors, which may have been involved in rituals or witnessed suffering. By accepting a mirror as a gift, one risks inviting energies into their home whose nature they do not understand. The case of a family who, after acquiring an antique mirror, began to be haunted by strange events comes to mind. Getting rid of the ominous object brought them immediate relief. Mirrors reflect not only our physical appearance, but also hidden spiritual energies. The sixth gift, religious items of unknown origin, false blessings. Religious attributes such as crucifixes, medallions, statues of saints, and rosaries have long been revered as sacred symbols of protection. However, there are many warnings regarding accepting such items as gifts whose true origin remains a mystery. Despite their apparent harmlessness and even blessedness, such items, originating from dark sources or used in questionable spiritual practices, can bring more harm than good. Often, they carry the intentions, energies, and practices of their previous owners, which may not align with Christian canons. True spirituality requires a deep and pure connection with the divine without any interference. By accepting a religious item from someone with an unclear past or who used it in rituals contrary to Christian faith, we risk opening doors to negative energies. The power of these items lies not only in their physical form, but also in the spiritual charge they carry. A blessed crucifix brings protection and peace, while an item of dubious origin can become a conduit for disturbing spiritual influences. Many people, unaware of the danger, accept such gifts, hoping for a blessing, but in reality, attract misfortune, emotional problems, and even spiritual disorders into their lives. Spiritual guides urge us to always ascertain the origin of religious items before accepting them as gifts. Furthermore, it is important that these items be blessed by a priest, especially if their history remains unclear. The case of a certain Jose comes to mind, who received a statue of a saint as a gift from a friend, hoping it would bring protection to his home. Soon after, he began to be plagued by misfortunes, frequent quarrels with his wife, financial difficulties, and insomnia. Suspecting something was wrong, Jose sought spiritual help and found out that the statue belonged to a person who practiced magical rituals. After getting rid of the ominous object and having his home blessed, peace returned and his problems disappeared. This story serves as a stark warning about the danger of accepting religious items without knowing their true origin. It is important to remember that religious symbols possess immense power, and we should always ensure that they are imbued with good intentions and blessings, not negative energies. The seventh gift, photographs. an energetic connection to the past. Photographs are not merely captured memories, they are also carriers of emotions, feelings, and energies. Accepting photographs of unknown people or events with which we have no connection as gifts can have unexpected spiritual consequences. Photographs, especially old ones, capture the essence of a moment and people, creating invisible links to the past. By accepting a photograph, we allow these energies to enter our lives, which can have both positive and negative impacts. Antique photographs, particularly those depicting deceased individuals or tragic events, can be filled with sadness, pain, and even curses. Accepting such a gift is akin to opening a door to spiritual influences capable of disrupting harmony and causing emotional instability. Despite their seeming harmlessness, photographs are powerful objects that capture and preserve the essence of moments and people, imbuing them with a strong energetic charge. In many cultures, photographs are considered portals to the spiritual world. By accepting a photograph from a stranger or a deceased person, we risk creating an unwanted energetic connection. Caution should be exercised when accepting gifts that represent people, such as photographs and portraits. Otherwise, we might take on someone else's spiritual burden, which can manifest as sadness, nightmares, and even spiritual disorders. The case of a certain Anna comes to mind, who received an antique photograph as a gift from an acquaintance. The picture showed this acquaintance's family, all of whom had already passed away. Anna, without thinking, accepted the gift and hung the photograph in her living room. Soon, she began to be plagued by a deep sense of sadness and disturbing dreams. Seeking spiritual help, she was advised never to accept photographs of people she barely knew or families with a tragic history. This example clearly demonstrates how seemingly harmless photographs can transmit deep and even negative energies. It is always important to exercise discernment when accepting photographs as gifts and to consider the spiritual impact they might have on our lives. The eighth gift, hidden intentions and invisible dangers. Danger lurks not only in the object itself but also in the giver's motives. It has long been known that any gift, whether a humble trinket or a valuable artifact, carries the energetic imprint of the giver's feelings. If the person presenting the gift is consumed by envy, malice, or jealousy, these negative vibrations can transfer to the item and, consequently, affect the recipient's life. Envy, in particular, possesses a powerful destructive force. Often, people around us may appear benevolent, but harbor underlying resentment or rivalry. In such a case, a gift can become a veiled way of wishing ill, even unconsciously. It is warned that envy can infect an object, turning it into a channel for attracting misfortune, obstacles, and spiritual blocks into the recipient's life. Therefore, it is extremely important to be aware not only of the material value of a gift, but also of the feelings that guided the giver. Besides envy, gifts from people harboring resentment, malice, or pain are also dangerous. These negative emotions permeate the object, turning it into a source of negative energy. It is important to develop spiritual perceptiveness to recognize when a gift is given with ill intentions. Intuition serves as a reliable tool for discerning the true motives of others. If receiving a gift causes discomfort, anxiety, or inexplicable unease, it is better to decline it, even if the gesture seems completely innocent. An example is the story of João, a merchant who received a golden watch as a gift from a friend. Despite the gift's value and the giver's friendly smile, Juon felt a slight unease. However, he disregarded his intuition and accepted the gift. Soon, his business began to inexplicably decline. Sales dropped, financial difficulties arose, and Juon could not understand the reason for so many misfortunes. In despair, he sought spiritual advice, where he was recommended to analyze the source of the gift he had received. Remembering the watch, he decided to get rid of it. To his surprise, immediately after doing so, his affairs improved and harmony returned to his life. Juon learned from his own experience that the hidden intentions behind a gift can have far more serious consequences than it seems at first glance. This case clearly illustrates the reflection that the energy or intention embedded in a gift can have enormous significance. Even if a gift has great material value or seems harmless, the spiritual charge with which it is presented can have a significant impact. Now, knowing about the types of gifts that should not be taken lightly, the necessity of being selective about the items we allow into our lives becomes clear. Every gift carries not only material value, but also the energy, intentions, and vibrations of the giver. What seems like a simple gesture can open doors to unwanted spiritual influences, misfortunes, and obstacles on the path to prosperity and well-being. Objects we accept, especially those with symbolic or historical significance, often carry a spiritual burden capable of affecting our emotions, health, and even financial standing. Withered flowers, old photographs, relics of unknown origin, and religious items may seem innocent gifts, but if they contain negative energy, they can bring many problems. Wisdom born from spiritual life and discernment urges us to think deeply before accepting any gift, especially if it causes discomfort or doubt. It is important to remember that just as evil can manifest through seemingly harmless gifts, we can also protect ourselves with prayers and acts of faith. Spiritual guides teach that a connection with the divine is fundamental for discerning what should and should not be accepted into one's life. Intuition and faith are our best tools for maintaining harmony in our surroundings. If a gift has already been accepted and negative changes have begun to occur in your life, it may be time to assess its origin and the giver's intentions. It is important to remember that refusing gifts that cause inner discomfort is an act of self-protection, safeguarding the soul. Prioritizing spiritual and emotional well-being is an act of self-care. In conclusion, it is essential to protect yourself and be mindful of what you allow into your life, whether objects or energies. The right to make decisions always remains with us. May discernment, illuminated by divine light, help you make wise choices, and may your life always be filled with positive energies that protect your soul.